So we're going to get started off with solving our absolute values. So with solving our absolute values, what we're going to do, first we have to know, hey, what are these straight lines? They're not ones, they're considered absolute values, and there's a stop and a start to them. So whenever we have them, what we'll do is we'll go in, and as soon as they're on one side by themselves, we're going to break it up into two separate equations. So I'm going to have n minus 3 equals and n minus 3 equals. So notice my n minus 3's are identical to what was inside the absolute values. That's going to help us out. Now when I go to my individual equations, one will be negative and one will be positive. So now I just have to go in and use my one-step equations to solve them. So in this one over here, I have a minus 3. So to solve, we add 3 to both sides, and we bring down our equal sign. So n minus 3 plus 3 will just give me n, and on my right-hand side, negative 15 plus 3 is going to be negative 12. So that's part of my answer. But because this one has two equations, they actually have two answers that are hidden. So with this one, we will go in and we will add 3 to both sides once again. And so then, on my left-hand side, again, I'm left with just n. But on the right-hand side, 15 plus 3 is 18. So that is the other half of my answer. So n could equal 18 or n could equal negative 12. Both of those are my possible answers. So let's go and look at another one. Okay. So with this one, once again, I have a variable inside absolute values, so I need to split it up into two separate equations. So I'm going to have 2p plus 4 equals and 2p plus 4 equals. One will be negative 8 and the other one will be positive 8. So now we go in, first thing I need to do is I need to subtract 4 to move it to the other side of the equation. If you notice, we have to do the exact same steps. I just might have different answers as I do it. So this will leave me with 2p equals negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. And for my other equation, I have 2p equals 8 minus 4 is just positive 4. So now I have 2p, so I need to divide by 2. Since 2p stands for multiplication, so I use division to get rid of it. And then I have negative 12 divided by 2, which is negative 6. And my other equation, I need to go in and divide by 2, and so I have p equals 4 over 2 is 2. And so that gets us our two possible answers for this absolute value equation. So you always split them into two when you have absolute values. Okay. The other type we have is when we have an expression and these aren't equal to each other. And so all I know, oops, not what I meant to do. I'm going to take it back. So right now I have that absolute value of a minus 7 and my absolute value plus 15. And then a is 5. So what we'll do is in the absolute value where I have a, I'm going to write 5 in its place. Okay, so now we're going to follow order of operations. So order of operations tells me I have to deal with grouping symbols first. So let's go ahead and deal with this 5 minus 7. So 5 minus 7 is negative 2. We're going to leave it inside the absolute values for a second. So now let's evaluate it. And the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. Because absolute values make everything positive. And then we will add 15. So 2 plus 15 is 17. And that's our answer. Okay? So that's the two types of things that we could do with absolute values so far.